This year, around the Indian Premier League, Razorpay has launched an interesting initiative backing India's boldest. Through this campaign, Razorpay is putting 35 homegrown startups and their visionary founders on the biggest stage in the country, which is the IPL. The idea is to celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship, putting these bold, innovative startups front and center where millions of eyes will be watching. For the first time ever, a brand is amplifying others, not just itself, creating a national platform to showcase the dreams and the ambitions of the country's boldest entrepreneurs. So what was the vision behind this trailblazing campaign? What went into the strategic thinking to bring this idea to life? We are about to find out today from Harshil Mathur, CEO and co-founder of Razorpay, who will dive deep into the vision and intent behind this campaign. Along with him, we have Apuarv Sethi, Senior VP of Marketing at Razorpay, who will share the thought process and the strategy behind this campaign. Harshil, Apuarv, welcome to CNBC TV 18.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
So, Harshil, let's begin this conversation with you. Backing India's boldest is a powerful statement. So, what does this phrase really mean to you personally and professionally, being an entrepreneur?
No, I think as a company, our journey has been about enabling other startups and builders and founders as they build the country. And one of the things that we notice is that typically ads carry entrepreneurs or sports people or other influencers. When we decided to do something this cricket season, we thought, let's change the narrative. Let's try to use founders and builders as role models for the upcoming youth, because entire youth of the country watches cricket. How can we use this platform to not just advertise ourselves, but also inspire a lot of youth that's watching cricket on and show them the journey and story of some of the founders who have been building this country, creating jobs, building the economy. I think this is what this campaign is all about. It does, like, we're not asking them to talk about Razorpay, we're just asking them to talk about their vision for their businesses, their vision for the country, and what they are trying to do to make this a better place for all of us.
Yeah, and Harshil, sticking with you, since we are speaking about being bold, what is, one of the boldest decisions that you have made in your career? Yeah.
The boldest decision for any founder is the day they decide to do a startup themselves. The day you decide to leave a comfortable job and go into this hard life of being a startup founder. And I think that was for us, and that was for most of the founders featured here. And the idea is to present that story on how most of these folks have had comfortable lives, comfortable jobs. They left it for a completely tough and unpredictable life of a startup founder. That's the same for me as well. I'll say that is the boldest bet for me.
IPL, although it's like, it's one of the most sought after events in the year, the most important season right now, it's also the noisiest time of the year. So, why did you decide to go ahead around this time when, we only see campaigns all around us on television, on OTT platforms, on digital and social media? So why did you choose IPL in particular?
See, if we have to look at the stages of the platforms available for marketers and advertisers to talk of, right? I think this is the biggest stage possible. And we debated a lot. Frankly, it was not an easy decision to be part of this festivity of advertising, right? But we were very clear that if we have to get our founders the stage that they deserve, it has to be the biggest stage possible. I don't think anything else would have merited this campaign but this stage. Harshil, if you want to add.
No, and I think you're right, like there are a lot of campaigns going on at this point of time. The idea for us was, how do we do something different? So we're not using ads as a medium to just promote what we do. We're using ad as a medium to deliver stories of other founders, stories of other people who are building. And I think that in our opinion cuts through the noise, because it's very different than most ads people have watched, most campaigns people will see, or most campaigns they'll get to see in the entire season. And I believe it will leave a mark in people's heads on, hey, this is something interesting, because we're not talking about ourselves. We're not saying, hey, download this app or buy this from our website. We are saying these are the stories of founders who are building the country. Look at them and maybe it inspires you to build yourself.
Yeah, and Harshil, sticking with you again, how did your personal entrepreneur journey, influence, your decision to share the spotlight or, spotlight other startups through your campaigns?
Yeah, I believe most founders and most startups, the biggest challenge to growth or biggest thing that they look for when they're starting up or they're scaling up is validation. Is how do you ensure that you get your message out? You're doing something different. You're doing something unique. How do you ensure everyone hears this message and learns about what unique you are doing? And I think that was all this campaign was about. That how do we bring the stories of these founders out? That hey, I'm building in food space because I believe this should change. I'm building in space tech space because I believe this should change in the country. Some of these founders are building some very, very deep tech businesses in the country. Some of them are building for SMEs, some of them are building for small businesses and so on. And I think the idea for us was how do we get these stories out so that people hear from them and get inspired. At the same time, a lot of these founders want to grow their business, want to hire people, want to get investors. I think it is one of the best place we could find, to Apu's point, the biggest platform we could find for people to get their story out, to get their word out. Yeah. And I think a lot of it came from our own journey, and we were building Razorpay. The hardest part was getting the message out. How do you ensure enough people get to know what we are building at Razorpay? And I think this tries to solve that for a lot of founders.
What is the kind of message that you want to send across to, these early stage startups through this campaign? If you can also elaborate on that, either of you.
Harshil?
Yeah, I think the idea is, first of all, we've covered 35 founders today, but that's not the limit of entrepreneurship in this country. There are so many founders, so many people, and I'm sure there are a lot of more founders that we have missed on that we have covered. So the idea is this is just a start. This is the first TV campaign from Razorpay, which is featuring founders. We'll do a lot more of these. We look forward to learn a lot more of these stories of founders who are building in different stages of their life. And our role as Razorpay is how do we support them? Sometimes it will be through a campaign, sometimes it will be through providing a product, sometimes it will be to get their word out. Whatever we can do, we run a lot of such platforms in the country because we believe the only way companies like ours can grow is if more people come forward and start companies and more people grow their businesses digitally. And we'll continue to look forward to ways that we can help them do that better in whatever ways we can.
And Apoorva, do we foresee India's Boldest to be a recurring initiative going forward? Do we see seasons since this is the first year of you guys starting it?
Yeah, I think there would be many shapes and forms it will take. Like Harshil said, right? The ecosystem is so large and there's so much to do. Where this is where we stop? Absolutely not. We can't. And I think as a company, we'll continue to find opportunities, whether it is building communities like we have in Rise or the Razorpay venture program that we have to drive investments. This and many more. I think you will see a lot from Razorpay around this platform. There's a lot to do.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be getting a lot of mantras through these founders' journey. But Harshil, what is the personal mantra that you follow? That you have followed and stuck with throughout your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, for me, the mantra has been simple. Find a problem that you are very passionate about and just spend your lifetime solving that problem. I think that's what works for most startup founders. Each of the startup founders, when you hear them, you'll hear that same story. They found one problem statement that they loved and they felt that, hey, I need to solve this problem for this country. And they went all into it. And it could be something as simple as building a meat delivery business to something as very complicated like, hi, I'll solve for launching satellites in space. But the core crux of all of these founders' journey has been, and our journey also has been, we found one problem statement that we said, this problem shouldn't exist. And we've just gone all in solving that.
So finding a problem statement and then working towards solving that. But being one of the prominent players in the fintech space, what is the advice that you would like to give to the next generation of entrepreneurs, in this ever-evolving tech space and tech ecosystem?
Yeah, I think two things. One is India is one of the best places to build a startup out of. We are in the right stage as a country, as an economy, for more people to come forward, build startups, build businesses, create jobs, create the economy. A lot of folks might fail while doing that, and that's also fine. Every failure will create a way for more companies to come forward and do something different. And the second thing from a tech perspective is that the ecosystem is changing very rapidly. With AI, the amount of resources you need to build a tech startup today are reducing dramatically. So the combination of India as a large opportunity for solving for problems of 1.5 billion people, At the same time, with tech changes like AI coming in, it's a massive opportunity for anyone to start a company today and try to create an impact for themselves and as well as for the country.
All the best for that. Thank you so much. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for having us.